Hey there. I am just trying to find the right stick to do the saber dance that we decided to work with this last week. So what I've done is I've walked down to my little forest and coming to find some of the sticks that I have here. And what I'm going to be looking for, let's come around on this side. So I think we might have a good stick actually. It's stuck right in there. Boy, that's the easiest way to find a stick. Just pull it out. What I was looking for was something that was going to be straight, fairly straight, which I actually accomplished. I just have to pull a little bit off of here. That will work. But the other thing that we talked about is making sure it wasn't too long. So putting it down by your side and having it come up about mid-hip. I'm laughing because it's exactly the right length. So, okay, so that's one way of going out and tracking down your stick. I'll help you with part 2 when I get back to the house. Okay, so I think I cheated because that was such a easy way to get my stick. So it's fairly straight, has that one little spot in it. And what I've done is I've just grabbed a yellow ribbon and I just left enough space on the stick so that if I go to hold it in my hand, I have enough space where I know where the end of the actual hilt part is. And my saber is now ready for learning the saber dance. Hello! We are going to celebrate the saber. This is going to be my saber stick today, and the opportunity to play with props. So what I want to do is share with you a little bit of the choreography we're developing, and which will be part of next week's lesson as well as we get into Halloween ideas. What we're going to do is we're going to use this saber in the way that it came down the line from Tai Chi, but we're going to put it into a whole dance sequence. So the part that you need to know about is holding onto the hilt. So I've put a yellow ribbon on here, so I know exactly which end I'm going to hold onto. My saber is kind of about hip height, and you can go shorter if you like. You can also go longer if you like. You're trying to go with as straight a stick as you can get. Okay, and you probably saw my video on finding my stick, so you can have some fun going out to play and find yours. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the sequence. I'm just going to turn a little bit so you can see. I'm going to go push through my foot and point my left toe, standing up with the saber out to the right. Okay, so if I turn to face, it's going to look like this. Okay, now that could be a magic wand. It can be if we're using a sword, then you always know that when we're in dance, we actually don't fight with swords. They either go on the ground, which would be Highland dancing, or we use them to create a movement and to be able to tell the story. So we're going to go like this to start off with. Okay, so now from that position, we're going to take the saber and we're going to push off the right foot, and we're going to cut down with the saber through the middle and up, and then it's going to turn and come back, and we're going to bring the other hand with it. Okay, so you're going to turn the saber, bring it down and through, turn the saber, bring it around and up. So if you notice, I have two hands working and I also have my whole body. I'm doing a push from one foot to the other foot, and I've got my feet turned to the corner when I step. So it's not going to be stepping straight. We're actually going to push into the corner. And when we go down, it's going to go through the leg, push out of the foot. And then it's going to drop into the legs, push up. And when we go into the legs right here, the knees are going to go out to the side, and you're going to have the knees back of the toes. So it's a nice, powerful move that you can push your foot off any way you'd like to go. So again, we have the sabre going up, there's the toe, and then we're going to go drop through, there's the toe. The sabre goes around, comes back through, and then goes around and comes back through. So that was to show you a little bit of the legs. But now let's put the actions of the hands. So if it's my right hand holding the sabre comes down, cuts up the middle, goes around to the left side, and cuts up the middle to begin to go over to the right side. So what we're doing is drawing a figure 8 pattern up and around, up and around, up and around. Exactly. Okay? So now we have this other hand to make it a whole body movement and to make it into a dance move that people want to know, what are you going to do? Where is the flow? This left hand is going to tell us a lot. So we start with it apart, right? And then as we come down and through, the hand starts to join in, and the palm of the hand is going to go to the end of the sabre. It's going to go up, down. It follows it like it's showing it off and isn't really touching it. And then it leads it around, pull it through, pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. Right. Okay. So now what happens is your hand is continuously changing positions, and that action is actually changing how the whole body is moving and which muscles let go and which muscles will come on to support the body. And then we have the whole movement through. So now let's add the head, and then you'll have the complete package. So you're looking up to the right to the top of that sabre. You swing down, your head comes through, you look out, the end of the sabre. You follow it around and take it up. Take it down and up, look around, bring it through. Down and up, take it around, bring it through. Okay, we have actually that little pattern, we do it 4 times, and you would start on the side of the room and back yourself into the room. If there are 4 people, and you're going to do a choreography with it, you would have 2 people coming from the right side of the room and 2 people coming from the left side of the room with their backs to the center of the room. So if I come over to my window here and I reach up, my back is to the center of the room. Down and up, down and through, down and up, down and through, down and up, down and through. This would be number 4, down and up, down and through. And right here, the end of that, you're going to take your fingertips, and your fingertips are going to go right into your wrist. They're going to stop there, but then they're going to roll around. So they're going to do this little action. And as they roll around, you're going to circle around the left, around the right. You're going to come down, circle that sabre straight through so you can turn. And in my case, my front is going to be at the windows here. So I'm going to turn all the way around and finish with a stomp. And my sabre, I've got my right hand holding on, but my left hand is going around, and I'm looking that direction, which is my front direction. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. So I've got up and point. This comes down, down and up, swing, down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. This is number 4. This is going to go around. This comes down, goes through, turn, stop. And whichever foot you're on is the one that can stomp, that's fine. In choreography, you might have one side of the room stomp with one foot, other side of the room stomp with the other foot. All right, if you notice that little piece to go around, I'll just do it facing sideways. So I went over to my left foot, point my right, all the way around, over from my left to my right, down, comes through the middle. So now my right foot is pointed and my weight is on my left. It comes around, pop. All right. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to be too close to anybody else in the room. You need lots of room so you have your own space. And that's where you can spread people out to be able to give the illusions you need. And you're going to finish with your feet here. And that's the end of the first part of the Sabre dance. And we'll take you into the next. Okay, this is part 2 of the Sabre dance. And if I'm working with a group, and let's say there are 4 people that I can work with, that's what I talked about at the beginning. If there were 4 people, I have the opportunity to have the dancers work one at a time, in pairs, all 4 together. All can be different, some can be the same. So I'm going to give you some examples of ways you can play. So if you are dancing with your parents or you have your friends over and you're putting this together, this is your chance to advance the choreography how you like. I'm just going to give you the base parts and then you can put it together how you think. So what I gave you was part 1, which had you finishing facing to whatever your front is. And then what you can do is take a step back with your right foot and then roll back onto the heel, turn the left toe, and stomp. Now, when you're specific with your footwork, it can look quite neat because it can be like an isolated movement, which is how hip hop makes everything look so cool, is the way they isolate each piece. Jazz is also that way. And when we're doing fancy footwork, it looks quite neat. You could have the person, if I'm on the left front corner, the person on the right corner could go at a different time. The back corners could also go at different times. So if I'm here, facing my front, and I go dig, heel, twist, stomp, we can have a rhythm pattern. So it could be 1, 2, and 3, 4. And your 4 could be on the stomp. But you could have 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2 would be another way to do it. Or you could have 1, 2, 3 as another option. So you could decide, and it could go ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. So everybody turns at a different time, but you're going to end up facing diagonally in towards the center. You're going to turn your saber sideways so that if you have a ribbon or a handle that's painted on, it's going to go on the right side. And what you're going to do is you're going to balance that saber out in front of you, and we're going to make a figure 8 with the saber forward, backward, in and down, and then take it back out to the center again. While we make that little action happen, you're going to rise up on the balls of the feet and then go flat. And I'm just going to turn so you can see my ankles. My ankles stay together and down. That's it. Now, how do you keep your balance? 1, keep your ankles together. Don't let them roll. 2, use your hands. So my hands go out as I go up. Rise, sink, drop, present. Okay? So that's the first bit. So we have up, sink, drop, and out. Now, here comes the trickiest part of the choreography, particularly your saber. You're going to have to get to know. I'm going to balance my saber on my fingertips. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it in. I'm going to take it around, over the top, bring it all the way back around by balancing it on my fingers. Now, if you're going to drop it, of course you're going to catch it with your thumb. But what I want you to do is figure out how to find the balance of that saber and how to work underneath, over the top, and through. If you need to do it with just your hand, it goes in. So it'd be like, oh, I wonder how much I have. You put your hand in. You look at your hand, then you go, put it underneath, swing it all the way around to your left shoulder, over your head, and then bring it back in front. Another figure 8 pattern, just a little bit different. Okay, so if I've done my rise and my drop, and then I step open, then you see what I did with my feet again. So I had my rise, my fall, my hold, I step open, and as I do, I present with my left hand and my left foot. That's the point, and my palm is up, and my right hand is going to go underneath, over, and you notice my left hand is still out there because it's going to catch the saber and take over. And I'm going to change sides, pointing the toe, and now we're going to go underneath on this side, over the top, under, and bring it back. Now my balance wasn't quite so good on my left side. I felt it start to go, so I had to actually bring my thumb in just to catch it. And that's you learning to play with it and figure out where your balance is going to be. All right, so we've brought it back into the middle. We're going to rise up again, sink back down, take it out, and then what you're going to do is flip it up. So your hand goes down to the end of your saber, flip, so the left hand is directing, and then that foot comes back in again. As your left hand goes down to go around your right, it goes toe, heel, and now you're going to flip your right foot first, because you need to get all the way around to face the outside. Turn, step. So your pattern is toe, heel, flip, step. And again, rhythmically, you could be 1, 2, 3. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4. And your head can go sharp with you, and you can add any extra pieces in there you'd like to add. So what I'm going to suggest to you now is you just play with that whole sequence. This one faces diagonally into the center of the room, and then it turns back to where you started the first pattern, which is facing out to a side. So in my case, I'm facing to the left side because my front is up by my windows. Okay, we're ready for part 3 of the saber. In this part, what we're going to do is we're going to work a lot more with the legs and the feet. And it's going to have a développé, and this could be small or large depending on your skill. So I'm going to stand on my right leg, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my left foot pointed up my leg, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it out to the front and then put my toe down. Okay? Now, it could go up straight, but it's not going to help us with the saber action that we want. So that would be a jazz position. Bring it up to retire. So what I'm going to do is turn my right foot to the 45, to the corner. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my knee on my left foot out towards the corner. To the side if you can get it there, but to the corner is great. And then your leg is going to come up and open, down, and then it would step into the next piece. Okay? So the action if I am coming from where I finished, facing to my left side, I'm going to turn my right toe. I'm going to go up and out, point, and then I'm going to step back with that foot. Left foot, point right. Right foot, point left. Left foot, point right. Right foot, point left, turn. And I'm going to turn to my right and face the front, which is my next direction for me. That whole pattern is actually going to make a box. So I'm going to repeat it 4 times, and every time I do it, I'm going to face a different direction. So I started to my left. I'm going to walk backwards and finish to my front. The second time, I'm going to développé up the right foot's going to come up and out. And then I'm going to reverse what I had done for stepwise. So if I go up with my right, open, point my right foot, and then step, point, step, point, step, point. And this is going to go step, turn. Because I'm going to have to do a little cheat to come around. Hopefully you could see that okay. All right, so I'm going to finish that last walk. So if I had here, step, point left, step, point right, step, point left, step, turn. Now my left leg is going to go up. So I have to turn my right foot just a little bit. Développé is going to come up, out, point, and then walk backwards. Walk 1, walk 2, walk 3, walk 4, and now I'm facing to my back, and my right leg would come up, out, point, step, point, step, point, step, point. This one goes step, point, and instead of me turning, because I've gone all the way around and made a square, I'm now going to step my left toe into the center on an angle, because I'm at my up left corner here. Front left corner. I'm going to step on my left foot, and then I'm going to do an arabesque. Okay, now everything that I do is suggestions. You can play with it, you can perfect it. Also, you can find out how each leg works for you. You can change the timing on it, you can change the actions on it. But what I'd like you to do is try to see how you can work through the leg, how you can bend and stretch, pushing through the feet, making those actions happen, and seeing how you can find the end of the leg, how you can work through the hip, pushing and opening. Okay, now you need to add your saber, and of course your other hand and your head, right? Okay, so we started facing to the left side, and it was to go down the left foot. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to come closer so you can see my hand. What I did was I went from here and I opened demi-second, which is my hand is to the side. Now I'm using a ballet hand, so you can see my fingers. Okay, you could go pow, and that one has all my fingers spread. So you could do that if you wished. So you could go boom, down, and lift. Okay, and I've done it also ballet. Okay, so it's up to you. So here I am. So I'm going to go down. So there goes my hand, développé, and I'm going to take that saber to the end of my toe, and I'm going to try to pull my toe up with my saber. And oops, sorry, point my toe, and I go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and now I'm going to transfer my saber from my right hand into my left, because I want the saber to go down my right leg. So it's in my left hand. My right hand is going to open out to the side, développé up, goes down, lift up that foot, walk point, walk point, walk point, walk point, turn. Okay, and again, on some of the corners we have to just turn a little bit differently to get there. I'm just going to move back so you can see me. Okay, so this goes back into my right hand. I go développé up, oops, with my balance, lift up, walk 1, 2, 3, 4, and put it into my left hand, open my hand up, and this is my right leg coming up. It goes down the leg, lift the toe up, walk point, put the foot down, walk point, walk point, walk point, walk point, and instead of turning to the outside, I'm actually going to turn to the inside, and what I'm going to do is step onto my left foot, expand my back, my shoulders, my arms, and that saber out as far as I can, and use the two of them to reach to the end point as my right leg comes up. Now you may decide you just want to balance there, head up and balance, or you may decide you want to lean, there goes my balance. Well, you may decide you want to lean forward and see how far you can get to expand. And if you can drop right down and lift your leg up without losing your balance, fantastic. Okay, so you're on your left foot. When you finish that position, the end piece is your hand goes underneath. You wipe the saber underneath. You bring it out. You take your wrist and your hand and you put them together as you did before. You go around the left side. You go over and around. You bend down and bring that saber through. And then when you finish, on the end of that one, you can finish wherever you need to go next. For right now, I'm just going to go to the front. Pop. Okay, so I just wanted to give you an end point. Depending on the choreography, you can decide. You can go around, you can slink through there, and then you can go wherever your next spot is. All right, that's the end of that section. Okay, the next section of the saber, we're going to go on a drag cross. So for you to see it the easiest way, I'm just going to turn away on an angle here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing that saber out. I'm going to cross it over as I cross my foot, swing it out, and the finish is going to be plant the feet together, take that saber, dive it behind you, take it over the top, sweep it around, and bring it back in to change hands. Okay, so now I'll do it towards you so you can see. I just wanted you to have a couple of angles. So this is going to go, I'll just come down here. So this goes reach, cross, reach, over, and down, up. I think I missed something in there. That'd be one option. Okay, let's try it again. And we go reach, cross, reach, down. So the saber comes in behind you, goes out and around, goes over the top, and comes in and up. Now, if that's a little bit too complicated, go with the first option. That way you have two different ways that you could possibly do it. Okay, I'm just going to turn my angle again. This might help with seeing what I'm doing. So I'm going to come through. Reach, cross, reach, down, over, in, up, and catch that saber. All right, now you can start to see how if you were holding a magic wand, what kind of fun things you might be doing with that as you prepare for Halloween. Okay, so that little action is going to travel to your right side, and then it's going to repeat and travel to the left. So in my choreography for where I'm at, I just finished balancing with my saber in my arabesque, and then I finish by turning And again, it's up to you how you want to get to whatever your next direction is. I'm going to face the front. So I'm going to just do a little suit new. I'm just going to do that again for you. I just pulled my right foot in and I spun on my left foot and just sucked my right foot in so that it could look like I was doing more. You could go 1.5 times around or just one. So I just did just that short little turn, but I could go and in, and then just suck the feet together to finish to the front. So my drag cross would travel over to my right. Reach, cross, reach, in, over, expand. Bring it in, put it in your right hand. Reach, cross, reach. Bring it in, over the top, open, and bring it up. And that would be the end of that section. Okay, so let's continue the next little piece here. So you've just traveled to the right, to the left. And now what you're going to do, sabre would be in your right hand. You would have come around with it in your left hand, brought it in, and you could just bring your hands together at the end. So now what's going to happen is, in your right hand, you're just going to hold it like you're cradling the sabre. You're going to hold it across that left arm. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to trace figure 8 patterns with the body. Okay. Now the first time that I do it, I'm going to focus on the end of my sabre, which is called the hilt. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the figure 8 pattern over to my right hip, send it out, and then I'm going to bring it back, turn it around, send it out. Take it back. And what happens is the ends of the sabre are making the figure 8 pattern, and kind of this centerpiece is kind of your pivot point. So I'm just going to back up so you can see my feet this time. So over, bend, over, bend. And my focus is the hilt. So I do that 4 times, starting with over to my right. When I have finished that number 4, which comes back and through, I'm actually going to go in with my feet, open to the left, and now the point at the end of the sabre is going to be the next part. It goes out, it comes back, out, back. And we have 4 times that we do this little action, and then we finish facing to our side. And that'll give you the end of that section.